This is Negotiative channel. This is Adiola Naomi coming with another book review. So before I start, I want to say I'm so sorry because I promised you guys that I'm gonna do a book review on Zadie Smith, The Swing Time, but I haven't for so many different reasons. Actually, number one is I think the book is so complex that I might need to read it again and again and again before I can give you a very thorough and nice review. And number three is I've been busy. Number two is I've been busy doing a lot of things, launching a magazine very soon in a few days, and also of course reading a lot of books, which comes to the terms that I'm reviewing another book. So yeah, so this book is called Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. I really wanted to review this book. I just finished it 3 days ago. Actually, yeah, 3 days ago, and I really literally, I'm recording this video, edit the video today, and the post will go live today, and I really hope you guys will go get it. So the name of the book literally is a debut novel. It is on the shortlist for the Bailey's Women Prize for Fiction for 2017. It's also on the shortlist for the Man Booker's Prize Award. Yes, there's been a lot of award on this book, I say. So the number one thing is the author. She is incredible. She is amazing. She is a great storyteller. I can't tell you how much I fell in love with the book and how much I love such authors, like people who can tell a story and just dig you in. Can I tell you something? The book is, oh, it's not that big. Okay, so the book in its entirety is 298 pages, and I finished it in a day. It was a good challenge because I was recommended to read the book by actually a very acknowledged British politician, I guess. She's a baroness, and she is actually chairing the Man Booker's Award. And I was talking to her at an interview that I had with her, and she told me like she's reading a book a day because she is chairing the Man Booker's Award. Of course, she had to read all the books, and there are like thousands of books that she had to finish and stuff like that. And then she told me there's this nice book that I know you're gonna love, and I was like, tell me which one. And she said it's by a fellow Nigerian diaspora. I think she lives in Nigeria though. Anyway, she said it's by I mean the author. So she said she suggested the book. I went on Amazon, picked it up, and I just couldn't stop. Came the second day because I have Prime, Amazon Prime, and yeah. So I'm gonna tell you about the book, but before we go, the book, what I learned from the book, I will tell you what I learned from this book at the end of the review. So what I will say about the book is, if you love literature and its diversity and you love reading more than white male authors, this is the book for you. Yes, you absolutely need to read it. It's written by a female, a woman, which is a wonderful thing, by the way, that there are a lot of women on the shortlist of Man Booker's Award this year. And also, she's a young woman. She's like, I think she's like 20 something. She's in her 20s. And she studied in Nigeria, in Obafemi Awolowo University of Ile-Ife, an incredible university in Nigeria, a very good one. And she also did an MA here in England, in East Anglia. What I would say is, the topic of the book was basically about a couple, their journey as they got to know each other. I think it started from the first day they met each other, right? And then it goes into their marriage, how the relationship developed, how the secret you tell your loved ones, the secret you don't even tell your loved ones, the secrets you carry that marked your life, that changes your life, and also the realization that love does not solve everything, and love is not all you need to sustain a relationship, and also like love is not everything. Like sometimes you think you love someone so much until you realize the lies you have been told by them, until you realize that you even never knew them. Like this person you think you know is not the same person, and that's not really who they are. So yeah, the book is about Yejide, who is a woman, a Nigerian woman, and also Akinyele. Yeah, Akinyele. So the two, like, I love the fact that Yoruba names are in a book, man. I really love the diversity in there's no diversity, but I really love reading books by people that I can pronounce the name and I can feel relatable to the name. But saying that does not necessarily mean that you only have to be Nigerian diaspora to read this book, or that you have to be Yoruba to read this book. I just feel a bit proud and I can't be a bit biased, and yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm loving Nigerian writers. I am loving Nigerian writers so much this time that I can't hide it. I need to... Okay, let me get my shit together. Yeah, so it's about this one couple, sorry, and their journey through also like barrenness, not being able to have children, and when everyone, especially in the Nigerian community, kind of blamed the woman for not being able to give a child to her husband, without realizing that it takes two to tango, man, and that sometimes it might not be her fault, and also depression, the issue of mental illness. And this book, to be honest, like the time the book was written, it was in the 80s in Nigeria. So the 80s in Nigeria, you don't even talk about things like that. I think the book was written in times where I was not even born. Like, yeah, the time where the journey goes through in the book. So it started in the 80s, democratic Nigeria, when we still have coup d'etat every time, where people get killed because they said something, when a journalist, a reputable journalist, Bola Ige, was killed by a specific regime and stuff like that. Like, so you actually learn a bit, not a lot, but you learn a bit about the situation of Nigeria at that period and how people's lives were. Like, I've always been wondering what it would look like if I was alive at that period. Most of that period I wasn't alive, or I was a baby. So reading through this book, realizing how the middle class average Nigerian person thinks and how they go by their daily life, pro-democratic. Nigeria was a democratic country when I was already 12, so it was in 1999. Yeah, so all these things going through basically a marriage in that period, and the book finished in 2008, so the time period in the book was, the last time in the book was 2008, and then you continue yourself basically. And also, what is a family, like the units of a family, what does a family unit mean to people, and the most important thing that I took away from this book is the secret people you love tell you, or the people you love, the secret they hold without telling you, the things you don't know about people. Like, when we see someone, we think we know everything about them, but we don't. And what I love about Ayobami's way of writing is every character is complex, every character has depth, every character is properly developed. They're developed characters. You see where they're coming from, you see their idiosyncrasy, you understand like how a person, like, sometimes I got mad about some things these characters do, but I also go back to them, like, I've been given a lot of information about them that I know, but also I was allowed to imagine, I was allowed to use my head, my imagination and my creativity to see these people and to be able not to judge but to sympathize with them and to empathize a lot of time with them. So yeah, that's it for Stay With Me. The book is called Stay With Me from the name of the daughter of the couple, which in Yoruba means Durotimi, which is Rotimi. So it says Stay With Me, and one of the things I did in this book that I'm going to share is the last thing is I'm going to read a piece from this book, and I wrote something on top of it. Actually, I wrote audacious bastard. Like, I was so angry at a character in this book that I was literally cussing them out. So I'm reading from a chapter, just a random chapter, so to share with you, and hopefully you guys go and pick it out. 2 weeks before the armed robbers wrote us a letter, a new salon set up right beside mine. The owner was Iyabolu, a fat illiterate who belched in between her words. If she said good morning to you, you can get an accurate idea of what she had eaten for breakfast, along with a spray of spit that followed every word she spoke. Children spilled out of her saloon like water from a fountain and littered the passageway that we shared. They were all over the place, crawling, sitting and lying about. They were all little girls with dirty hair. The oldest was about 10 and the youngest was about 4. 6 daughters in 6 years. I disliked the woman so much in the first week after she arrived that in a wild moment I considered moving my salon to another location. Iyabolu was always shouting her to her daughters, and the few customers she had went home with more spittle in their hair than setting lotion. She had about 2 customers each day and sometimes none at all. As much as she tried to lure my customers by greeting them with too many words and very wide smiles, the spittle fountain that was her mouth must have put them off. She was soon spending a lot of time in my salon. She would come in shortly before noon so that she could listen to the midday news on my radio. The radio was not just old, it has become temperamental. Sometimes, to get clear reception, Iyabolu would need to stand beside it and hold the antenna. Once the news was over, she would settle in a chair that squeezed under her weight and dispense unsolicited styling advices. It was Iyabolu who brought me the letter her family had received from the armed robbers. Her family lived on our estate, and every family in the estate had received a letter from the thieves. She asked me to read her letter to her after the customer and stylist had left. The letter was in the same format as the one addressed to us. Only the address and salutation were different. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Adebayo, we greet you in the name of the gone. We write to inform you that we will visit your family before the end of this year. Prepare a package for us. We accept a minimum amount of 10,000 naira. Of 1,000 naira. We will give you time to gather this money. We will write you again to tell you the specific date of our visit. Is that all? Iyabolu asked. Yes, she frowned. I must think about this matter. Where do they want us to find that kind of money? Is it enough to buy a car? I'm sure it is a joke. It's just a stupid prank, Jare, I said. Yes. So I read a piece from the book and I hope it convinced you to go buy it. And actually, to be honest, just go buy it. And you can find the writer on Twitter and Instagram and also see how she is, like see into the mind of the writer. Her name is Ayobami Adebayo. Yeah, that's it for this book review. Stay with me, and I hope you guys have stayed with me till the end of this video. And like the video, share the video, comment if you have read the book, and tell me what you think of the book. And see you next video.